Hello, welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen, the channel that brings you your team every single day, guys. We are back, obviously, bringing you all the latest stuff, even during the international break, bringing you all the latest content to do with Glasgow Rangers. Now, it's the international break. Obviously, there is no real football until the Sunday, the 26th, I think it is. Yes, Sunday 26th. Aberdeen away at Todri. We take on the Sheep, who no doubt will be playing at their fullest capability and really pushing it as massively as they can against us. Quite unlike they did against Celtic, where they'd already broken up for the international break before the game even started. I suppose the only positive was that challenge on Kyogo. So, look, let's have a look at it. So we're going to play obviously Aberdeen, and that will be the build-up this week, coming week. With this channel, looking forward to that game, looking forward to the return of real football again, looking forward to obviously seeing Philippe Clement's Rangers go out there and hopefully continue their winning run and smash Aberdeen. I think which we're more than capable of, with obviously having Philippe as the manager, but not only that, the way he's got the players playing, and also the fact that we're getting more players back from injury now. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. You want to know about this director of football news that we talked about yesterday, that we broke yesterday. And we are going to get to that. We are going to talk about Dimitri de Conde or Conde or Conda, wherever he's called. Anyway, we'll talk about him shortly. So before we do that, I just want to quickly mention one of our other players who's been on international duty, Jose Cifuents. Jose Cifuents has been away with Ecuador on international duty. Now, in recent times, Jose has kind of flattered to deceive a little bit, hasn't he? He hasn't played particularly well. He's looked a bit lost. And, part of it, I think, during Michael Beale's time was due to the fact that the way Michael Beale was using him. I think there was one game where he used him as a right winger, which is so not the way he plays. I think we've obviously got to hope that Philippe Clement can get the very best out of Jose Cifuents. Maybe he can do, his magic like he's done with Scott Wright and turn Jose Cifuents into the player we all hope that he is when we signed him. He came with a fanfare. He came with, with great expectation as the type of player we were getting, a box-to-box midfielder, something we've been missing for a little while now. A player who was creative, a player who can take on a shot, a player who can play a pass. And he's looked quite poor at times this season. Now, part of it could actually be down to the fact that he's got fatigue, genuinely fatigued. He has been playing football pretty solidly. Obviously the MLS season runs to a different time than ours. And there's been times when obviously we've been in off season and he's still been playing in the MLS. So look, it is a situation, and it is a worrying situation with Jose Cifuents. And I really do hope that Jose Cifuents can come back and can, be that player that we all hoped he was when we started him. And, it certainly turns to Philippe Clement and Stefan van der Heyden to turn this guy into that player. He is a good player. He is someone I think is capable of, doing a job for Rangers. But it remains to be seen whether he can adapt to our football, and I certainly hope that that he is that person, and he is going to be a quality player. And it is down to Philippe Clement now to turn him around. But he is apparently going to be returning to Rangers because of the fact that he is now suspended. He got a booking for Ecuador in their last international, so therefore, along with another Ecuador player, is suspended. So therefore, the Ecuador national team manager has allowed him to return to his club, which obviously will give Philippe Clement more time to work with him, which can be only for the positive. Now, earlier on, we brought you news about a prospective director of football. Now, we know that James Bisgrove talked about the fact that an appointment was imminent. He talked at the fans forum about it being a maximum of about 10 days away. It was very much the thoughts of the club that it was moving towards appointing someone. And I think with the fact that we are now in November, we are fast approaching January. We're obviously fast approaching the January transfer window. There is a real need to get that director of football in place, someone who can come in and really, support the transfer build-up, can support the scouting network, can support the shortlisting, the refining of that list, and looking at players that we need to bring in January. I think there is an undoubted need for this team to have another centre-back. I think, a bit more talented centre-back. A left-back is on the list, but I think that can wait till the summer, because obviously we've still got Ridvan, we've still got Borna, whatever you think of them. I think wingers are absolutely vital. We have Seema, who can play wide, can play left. Matondo can play as a winger as well. So there is some width there. There are some players there that can play as wide players, but I still think there is a need to have some wingers in there, and I think that will be certainly something that we looked at. So a director of football for me is something we definitely need. Now, the latest name that was linked and what the reports that were coming out of the club, according to a number of websites, is that Dimitri de Conde, that's right, Dimitri de Conde, his last name is D-E space C-O-N-D-E, Conde. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name. He is currently the technical director at Genk in Belgium. Now, as I said on the video earlier, Dimitri de Conde has a working relationship with Philippe Clement. If you look at Dimitri de Conde's facts and figures, he is 48 years old. He is obviously a Belgian national. He was brought under contract in March 2015, and he's under contract until 2029. So there is obviously, I think, a need that if we are going to take de Conde, to agree some compensation package with Genk for this man. Now, if we look at his job history there, so he started off as a youth coach between 2011 and 2015 with Genk. He was then appointed technical director in 2015 till in theory 2029. You know, if you look at when Clement was in Genk, Clement was the head coach of Genk between 2017 and 2019. So the two of them overlapped during that period. You know, he is someone who helped to build Philippe Clement's title-winning teams. He's someone who came in and brought in, you know, players that benefited Philippe Clement's team. Now, a lot of you will think, oh, who's he brought in? You know, what is the situation with Dimitri de Conde? Who are the players that he has developed? Who are the players that he's brought into this team? And you know, what has he done for football to show that he is worthy of taking on the job of Rangers? Well, if we look at the players that he's brought in over his time in Genk, and we look at some of the experienced players. Now, I know a lot of people would love to see Paul Mitchell in post, or Sam Jewell, but realistically, I don't think that is an option. You know, Paul Mitchell, I think, is likely to end up at Manchester United, especially given the Ineos 25% stake in that club. Sam Jewell, I think, is unlikely to leave his role as head of recruitment at Brighton, a Premier League team on the up, Premier League team with a lot of money. So let's have a look at who Mr. de Conde has brought in for Genk over the years, and some of them he has obviously gone to Searle. So we've got in this picture from the top left working across, it is a Danish player called Joachim Mæhle Pedersen. We'll talk a bit more about these guys and what they are like. Then going to the right there, the guy making the heart, that is Gift Orban, who is currently a striker for Genk, who scored 14 goals in 27 games, pretty prolific. Then the bottom left, we have Leon Bailey, who is currently with Aston Villa. And then there is Ruslan Malinsky, who is a Ukrainian international. He also signed Sander Berger for Genk, who is now with Burnley in the Premier League. He also signed he also signed Yanis Hadji. Yes, that's right, Yanis Hadji. And he has a very good track record of, you know, bringing in talented players. So what do we know about the players that he's brought in? Well, let's if we can, let's start with Leon Bailey, someone he brought in. Now, Leon Bailey is a currently Premier League footballer. He is a Jamaican international, but he started his career at Genk, where he made 56 appearances, scoring 8 goals before transferring to Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, where he made 119 appearances, scoring 28 goals before his transfer to Aston Villa. So again, somebody who has got an excellent track record in the game. Then you've got Gift Orban, who is currently the striker with Genk. He was signed from Stabæk. He's scored 17 in 24, a pretty reasonable strike rate in the Belgian Super League. So that's him. Ruslan Malinovsky is a Ukrainian. He is an attacking midfielder, stroke right winger. He is 30 years old. He went to Genk in 2017-2019, scored 18 goals in 74 games, but since then has played in Italy with Atalanta. Then he went to Marseille. He's currently now with Genoa on loan as well. So again, someone who has gone on to play in the very top leagues in Europe. Now, if we move on to Joachim Mæhle, as he's known, Joachim Mæhle Pedersen, he is a Danish international, a fullback who started his career with AAB in Denmark, was attracted then to Genk, where he scored 4 goals in 105 games, was then transferred to Atalanta. From Atalanta, he now plays for Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga. So he's got, and obviously Yanis Hadji, another talented player. It's not just that with Dimitri de Conde. As I mentioned in the video earlier, the Conde has a track record of working with the player trading model. Rangers very much want to have the player trading model in place and working. If Rangers are going to generate vast sums of money for transfers and therefore have money to reinvest into the squad, it is going to have to come from transfers, because realistically you look at it and Scottish football is in a bad position when it comes to the TV deal due to the awful SFA and the pathetic negotiations they undertook to get that TV deal. You then obviously add into that the fact that you've got a situation where the Scottish game doesn't attract a great deal of outward investment at this moment in time. It is therefore down to clubs to generate their own income. Rangers obviously have ticket sales, we have merchandise sales, we have match day revenue, My Jers, Edmiston House, etc., generating income. But the player trading model is the model that will generate a lot of money. Now, the Conde, in his history, like I said, has recruited quality players like Leon Bailey, like Gift Orban. He's then sold these players on for Genk to other clubs. Leon Bailey, for example, to Bayer Leverkusen. He has made over £300 million in profit for Genk. 300 million over his time there between 2015 and 2023. So, you're looking at generating 300 million over, what is that, 8 years, divided by 8. That's around 37 to 40 million pounds a year in player trading model. Now, if you were putting that sort of money into our transfer kitty every year, now considering what we signed this summer and how much we spent on the players this summer, 40 million would represent a massive uplift on that, and would certainly give whoever the manager is a real option. The fact as well, like I said, that Conde has previously worked with Clement, that he has an understanding with Clement, and that he has been successful with Philippe Clement. That is a key thing for me. The fact that when he was technical director at Genk and Philippe Clement was the head coach at Genk, they went on to win Belgian titles. He was very much part of that philosophy that Clement has. Clement is a guy who, when he comes to a squad, yes, works with what he's got, but then likes to refresh that squad every single season to keep it fresh, to keep it hungry, to keep it moving forward. And Conde has obviously bought into that. Now, I accept that this could all be media lies. This could all be media paper talk. We understand that. That's the way it is. That's how it is with Rangers. We are one of the biggest clubs in world football. As such, we attract a lot of column inches. We attract a lot of interest from the media right across Scotland, England, Europe, etc., because of the stature of the club. So I accept there could be a little bit of a misconception to this, and understand that. But if you review this guy's track record and you weigh it up against realistic candidates for this job, now realistically, like I've said, Paul Mitchell, I think he's off the table because the guy's like to go to a Premier League club. I also think as well that realistically, you're looking at the fact that another candidate, like for instance Sam Jewell, is unlikely to leave Brighton, and the compensation package will be far too high for Rangers to pay. Other names that have been linked previously: Craig Moore, Christian Nerlinger, Alex Inglethorpe, Stuart Webber, are all guys who have got a track record, a decent, but again, haven't got the track record that Conde has got, haven't got the experience at generating money, haven't got the experience at actually working at championship winning teams. Now, also, this guy, Conde, was apparently attracted to Leeds. Leeds were also apparently interested in him. That never came to fruition in the end. They've gone, obviously, Nick Hammond is their current director of technical director or sporting director. And their technical director is a guy called Greta Steinson. So they've obviously got people in place. They are apparently looking to appoint Stuart Webber, though. So, he has someone who's attracted interest. That was when Leeds were in the Premier League. So, this is a guy who's got a good track record. This is a guy who has got, Premier League clubs that have been interested in him. This is someone who knows how to be a director of football, knows how to oversee things, but more importantly, I think, knows how to work with Philippe Clement and has been successful with Philippe Clement in the past. And surely what we need to do now is give Clement the people around him and above him that are going to help him to be the most successful that he can be. And someone like Dimitri de Conde will be someone that I do think could be successful here. Well, guys, I'd love to know what you think of the stories we've covered. Obviously, covered about Jose Cifuents coming back early, and what you hope and aspirations are in terms of the player trading model, and obviously the sporting director. And if you don't want the Conde, let me know. Who would you want instead? Who do you think would do a better job? let me know in the comments below. Okay, guys, on the way out, I need you to do me a favor. First, obviously, smash the sub. If you haven't, obviously, subscribe. Please subscribe, guys. You get daily news, daily updates, podcasts, live streams, all for free, all for nothing, all gratis. So please, obviously, hit that sub, ring that notification bell so you never miss out. But on the way out, 2 things, guys. 2 things for me are number 1, smash the like, and number 2, remember always, we are people.